even when I'm down. Got my head in the clouds and my feet on the ground. I got big dreams. Yeah, we got big dreams and we're going to make them come true here in the Genius Lab, where we help you realize your greatness. Appreciate you listening today. This is the last week in February, and we are talking about the element of fire in a mineral year. You know, we have the overwhelming umbrella for the entire year of 2024 that is the element of mineral in the Dagara tradition from West Africa. And it's a tradition that I have been studying and have been living for, a long time, at least 30 years. So it's very meaningful to me, and it's a very old tradition, and there's not a lot of information about it. I wrote a book called From Africa to America, and it's about my learning in Africa and then bringing that teaching over here and codifying it in a Western fashion. So, you know, we're not going to sacrifice goats or chickens or anything like that. But we can learn from the ancient wisdom of these tribes, this tribe particularly, the Dagara tribe. And they run on a 5-element system: fire, water, earth, mineral, and nature, each of them having a specific energy that they carry. And this year, 2024, is associated with the element of mineral, which is realizing your greatness, connecting to your life's purpose, and creating a new story. Mineral year, we can always create a new story. We know that. But a mineral year is particularly potent for creating a new story, because that's the energy that resides. That's the energy that's here to help us specifically, to help us realize our greatness, to help you connect to your life's purpose and change your story. You might want more of the same, or you might want something entirely different. And I think for me, I want something entirely different. But there's a lot of good, pardon me, there's a lot of good things cooking. Sometimes you have to let go of something before you can get something new. And 2023 for me was a letting go and a big transitional year. And 2024 is putting the pieces back together to create something new, and maybe even some brand new pieces. So today we're going to talk about how it's the second month of the mineral year. The first month is associated with the number 1, so we talked about water. This is the second, so it's associated with the number 2, which is fire. Fire is inspiration, passion, clear vision, spiritual connection, and it's about lighting the way to your greatness, or to a sense of purpose, or to your inspiration or passion. So the week 1 we talked about passion. Week 2 we talked about inspiration. Week 3 we talked about clear vision, and this week we're going to talk about letting fire be the light to your pathway of your desired outcome. Okay, what we want to do is connect you. Sometimes we know what we want, or we know pretty much what we want, which is cool. We want to know, and what I would also add to that is add to your sense of desire for a particular thing or a way of life, but then also look at what feeling are you trying to accomplish. Because when you take a clear vision and you add the emotional impact to it, it helps manifestation. It makes a huge difference. And so as you go through, I'm going to give you 3 exercises to help with this. And sometimes we lose our way. Sometimes our motivation fades. Sometimes our passion dies out, and inspiration is impossible to find. You know, you just, no matter what, you just can't get fired up. But this is when the element of fire is most useful. That's why we have these powers and these resources available to us. And so there's 3 rituals that I recommend when this occurs. When you just can't seem to get a clear vision, when you can't get motivated, when you can't be inspired. You know, what can I say? Sometimes I will get into a funk where I will just like, I don't know what to do. So I'll just sleep, or I'll just exercise all day. No, I just do stuff all day that doesn't get me closer to what I want to create. But, and, sometimes it's good to just honor that and just be that. Sometimes during that period of nothingness that seems like a waste of time, it's actually a clearing and reorganizing time of your mind. So don't beat yourself up when you get into a funk like that. Okay. Sometimes I'll binge on Netflix like crazy. And at the end of 2 or 3 days, I'll go, God, what a waste of time. Well, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I would choose not to be harsh and judgmental on myself. And I would say, whatever didn't get accomplished, I will get accomplished now. And I probably needed a reset for my brain or my energy and move on. Okay. And if you want to move on, if you want a ritual to help you move on, here are 3 things I recommend doing when you get into that place where you can't find your inspiration, you can't find your motivation, and your passion is like a flat tire. The first one is a little meditation. And now this doesn't have to be, you don't have to sit in front of a candle and om for hours, but I recommend using a red candle because red is the color of the element of fire in this particular tradition. Sit before a red candle and meditate on what it is you want to create. This is not an empty your mind meditation. This is an active imagination. This is like a journey. And you imagine yourself in the situation already having and feeling the feelings of already having what it is that you want to create. It sometimes for me it looks like a movie. And I literally will let's say I want a different lifestyle. So I imagine myself waking up in the morning in this beautiful bed that's super comfortable, and I wake up completely refreshed and rejuvenated, and I whip my covers off, and I have my high thread count sheets that are just feel like silk, and they're so nice. And maybe there's someone next to me and that is exactly the match that I would like to have. And we say good morning, and I go out to my beautiful kitchen, look out the window to my view of Puget Sound, because my dream eventually is to get back to the Pacific Northwest. Look out over Puget Sound while I'm making my coffee. And I have the state-of-the-art coffee maker and the Cafe Umbria beans, and I just go through the whole day, seeing and feeling exactly what I want. Sometimes it's just a little short thing. Maybe it's a situation that I want to have, that I want to work out. Maybe somebody has talked to me about my coaching program, and I want to close that deal. So I would imagine first feeling into that and making sure this person's a fit, but then also looking at our negotiation and our what questions they might have. And I'm answering the questions articulately, and we're pacing, I'm pacing with them, and we really have a good connection. And, so and maybe that's a 10-minute deal. It doesn't have to be a long time. It depends on what you want to do. But I would, at least once a week, I would really have you do a full life deal where you go through an entire day. It takes around 20 minutes for me. And you can spend longer if you want, or if you can get through it shorter, that's fine. But make sure you really get into this imagery, bright, crisp, full color imagery, and the emotions of what's going on. Second thing, make a list of all the things you don't want, okay? And literally write them down on a piece of paper. I suppose for you computer geeks, you could type it out on your computer and then delete it. Eventually, I'll tell you what we're going to do with that. But while you're writing them, I'm going to just go piece of paper. Okay. So while you're writing it down on a piece of paper, we're taking it from the imaginal realm into the physical realm and bringing it into this particular space and time. That makes it real. Everything that you write down that you don't want, you make a reason why you don't want it, okay? and then really connect to the negative emotions of not wanting that thing. Like, ooh, yuck, I don't want this drama in my life. I don't want this, whatever it is. And then write it down and really feel into the emotion, and then find a safe place and burn that piece of paper and watch the paper until the whole thing burns. Okay. And, while it's burning, release the emotions that you connected to, so that when it's done burning, you feel free of all of those things. And you may have to do this over and over and over again, particularly for things that are, particularly trauma-filled, or drama-filled. It's something that has a high emotional signature. You might have to do it, once a week for a year. I mean, there's no limit on it. The main thing you want to do is free yourself of the things that are not serving you. And the third thing is make a list of what you want. This I do recommend, absolutely, a piece of paper and write it down, because make a list of what you want. Okay? And make sure that you write down the emotions and feelings that you desire to have and why you want this particular thing. Okay? And make a list of all the things that you want, all the things you want to create, all the things you want to possess, all the things that would make your life happy in your, at least that you perceive would make your life happy. And then here's why we do it on paper, because you're going to post this somewhere where you will see it regularly, on the front of your refrigerator, on your mirror for when you're brushing your teeth. You've got your list right there. And then periodically, like at least once a day, go over and read that entire piece. This is what I want. This is why. This is the feelings that it will bring, and imagine yourself in it while you're reading it. And if you do this every day, you will be shocked at how the things that you desire start to come your way, or openings for you to create the things that you want to create, all of a sudden start falling into your lap. So that's 3 ways to allow fire to light the path towards your desired outcome. And I'll tell you, most people that I work with don't actually take the time to do this. I can recommend it all the time, and I'll ask them, so do you have your list? Oh yeah, no, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. Well, do you have your list? And a year goes by, and we finish up our year-long program, and they're like, well, God, I never actually did that, and I never really created the things that I want to create. Now, a lot of times they're not ready for that, and the work that we do clears the way for that. And then the following year, I had one person, can I sign up for this again? I'm like, well, of course. We'll just take it to the next level. And what was really cool is that year, they did do it. They did follow through. And we realized that the whole first year that we worked together was really about clearing the pathway. And then the second year was about their creation year. So it was really cool how it worked out. So there's always a reason for everything. If there's anything that I've learned over the years, that is it. So I really appreciate you listening to the podcast. If you're interested in working together, go to tobychristensen.com. There's a list of services, and there's a coaching program up at the top. You'll see it on the menu. And I call it a year-long class. It's a year-long, and it can start on any month. So if it's February here, and most of the people that I have so far have signed up in December and January. But hey, you can start in February. Month 1, we go through and rock your world. And that's it. So thank you so much. And we will see you next week.